So happy birthday, 23 years old. Now you own a grocery.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's quite a way to celebrate. I don't know a lot of people that would go that direction, but it seems to have worked out really well.
Worked out so far.
Congratulations and
Thank
happy
you.
birthday.
Thank you.
Welcome to the official podcast of Foodies of Lafayette, where flavor meets community. A huge thank you to our Chef's Table sponsor, Logic Refrigeration and HVAC. Reach out to Seth, 337-242-1000. Let's join our hosts, Heidi McDonald and Jason Stoner.
Hey y'all, Heidi McDonald, founder of Foodies of Lafayette. I'm here today at the beautiful Sunday Soda Fountain, here with my partner in crime, Jason Stoner.
Hey guys.
Quick shout outs to the people that make this possible. Before we get into it today, we want to say a special thank you to our Chef's Table sponsor, Logic Refrigeration and HVAC. We also want to say thank you so much, Colin, Ounce of Hope. And we want to say thank you to the Cajun Table, Lauren and Sean. We appreciate y'all so much. And of course, Chris Logan Productions. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you. Love
Sundays.
y'all. And of course, the beautiful Sunday Soda Fountain. They're keeping us looking fancy around here. We're bringing you today some really, really special restaurant royalty of Lafayette. If you don't know, we've got Miss Cheri, Glenn, and we've got, next generation here, Murphy here. Ross, thank you for being here, guys.
Thanks for having us.
I learned a lot in researching for this. I have to tell you, I didn't realize how much that you actually had y'all's hands in. It's kind of amazing what y'all have built. It's pretty impressive.
We got a bunch going on.
So we'll get into it. We got a bunch of questions. What y'all know them for, I'm gonna assume, is Olde Tyme Grocery. So if you have ever been on UL's campus, if you have ever had a shrimp po' boy in Lafayette, Louisiana, or asked where the best shrimp po' boy was, it was them. It was them. It was them. It was them every single time. Every recommendation you've ever had, at least for my lifetime, and apparently a little bit before that. So tell us a little bit about how you got started. What prompted you?
At 23.
23 years old.
I guess basically I was working for Budweiser for a year and a half, and I left Budweiser and went and worked for Golden China Restaurant, which was, a Chinese restaurant in town at the time. He had a small store on College Saloon, and ran that for about a year and a half, and realized I liked the restaurant business. Didn't really know what I was going to do in life, trying to figure it out, and then looked into Quick Quarter and found a small grocery store for sale 2 blocks from campus, and decided to look into it. Spent about 3 months negotiating with the guy, and he wanted $30-something thousand for it. He had only bought it 2 weeks before he put it for sale.
Oh, wow.
He changed his mind.
Yeah.
And
A little more than he bargained for.
yeah, he had another store on the other side of town, which was a gas station. And then finally on my birthday, the sale went through, and ran to the bank, got some cash, and came back to the store with my fraternity brothers were around the corner, and they all came and drank beer till the beer cooler was empty, and then we went out to the keg, and I spent all the money back on them. So
Now you, so it was a grocery store prior.
when I bought it, it was a grocery store.
And how old was it then? Do you know anything about the grocery store part?
The little bit I do know was a guy named Mr. and Mrs. Perio that owned it for 30 years. Excuse me. And then they had a guy who worked for me at Golden China, worked with me at Golden China. His name was Mr. Martin, Cecil Martin. And he came in one day and he goes, I didn't know this is what you were coming to buy. I owned this with my wife for 35 years. So it was 2 owners before the guy Brad bought it that I bought it from. He kept it for 3 months. And he's the one who actually named it Olde Tyme Grocery.
Really?
Yes, he did, and I just left it named Olde Tyme Grocery. But he was there for a month, and he named it Olde Tyme Grocery, and then he decided to put it up for sale.
So happy birthday, 23 years old. Now you own a grocery.
Yeah, it was fun.
That's quite a way to celebrate. I don't know a lot of people that would go that direction, but it seems to have worked out really well.
Worked out so far.
Congratulations and
Thank
happy
you.
birthday.
Thank you.
And he lived in it, in the snowball stand.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yes, yes.
Now, did it have all the other? I think the property has a house behind it and a house beside it. Did it come with all that?
No.
Or was that later on?
So when I leased the property, I bought the business. Finally, after negotiating for a few months, I didn't have any money. So I had $3,000 saved, and I borrowed some from my dad, and I borrowed some from the bank. They each lent me $10,000, and I leased the building for $500 a month, and I rented out the dining room to a girl that was living there for $300 a month. So I was paying $200 a month, and I got a little apartment in the snowball stand in the back that I lived in.
Wow.
And then
Wow.
1 year later, I made it a snowball stand, so I moved out into a mobile home.
Oh wow.
So, when did the shrimp po' boy, the infamous shrimp po' boy, come into play?
And that was probably about a year to 2 years, I
About
believe.
2.
He knows dates better than me, but even though he wasn't there, he tells me what the dates were.
Need a book so we can write all this down.
Oh,
Yes, you do.
definitely. Oh my gosh, you should write a book. That's a great
Not
idea.
me. Not interested.
Ross can
Just
get
like
it
a,
going.
for a tabletop, you know?
Yeah,
like a coffee
absolutely.
table thing.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I think a shrimp po' boy was about a year, probably 2 years later.
It was about 2.
We spun the store around and put some fryers in, and the counter was
Okay.
up front in the beginning.
Really?
Yeah, and I had 2 microwaves and I had a crock pot, and a lot of people don't know this, but I had some meatball po' boys when I first started. I had 2 microwaves. I make sandwiches, cold cut sandwiches, but I had a meatball sandwich. We put the meatballs in a crock pot, but Marcello's made my meatballs and my gravy.
Oh wow.
They would just
Oh, my
start it out in the
gosh.
beginning, and I'd get a bucket of meatballs every week and twice a week, and get this gravy, and so that's how I started the meatball po' boys.
That's about the most Lafayette thing I think I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I love that.
Hey.
But
It
the,
was-
Need
and
some
that
good
was-
meatballs. They make
Yeah,
them.
learn something new every day.
But
And
the
that
fr-
was before Gene was. He might have been involved, but his brother started Marcello.
Oh.
I forgot what his brother's name. Maybe I can't remember what his name is, but yeah, and then he moved to New Orleans, and his brother Gene took over Marcello's.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
but
I
tell
don't
them
know if
what
I
you,
got that story right.
tell them what you had to do when to get the kitchen
We're
there.
talking about the shrimp.
The shrimp.
Where the shrimp po' boy comes from.
And then she was talking about the shrimp, how we got there. Well, it was so funny because, you know, the city wouldn't let you do anything. Everything was grandfathered in, right?
Yes.
So magically, you know, on a Sunday, the only day off of the week, or we close at 10 and stay open till 2 or 3 in the morning, bring friends in, they knocking down walls and doing everything.
You're saying a little too much, honey.
I think you're probably fine now, but under the radar, I get you.
And
I
then
get
they
you.
came and it just, well, it was just appeared, you
Cut.
know?
Just
But it's true. I mean,
Yeah,
it's really
that-
true, you know?
So during that year, before you started the sandwiches, before you started the po' boys, you just kept the grocery theme going.
yes.
What kind of things? Like a convenience store, or
It just had one little. The guy that was there before me was serving. The Perrios was serving. Charity Hospital was open across the street.
Oh, yeah.
And the Perrios would serve you 2 slices of bread and some luncheon meat, and you'd make your own sandwich. And it was probably $1 or something. And the other guy got it to serve the beer and stuff, but he didn't really do po' boy. He started to do a sandwich, and it's what I grew up with in Chalmette was po' boys, Rocky and Carlos, and
Oh,
Tony,
yeah.
a place called Tony's right around the corner from my house. So, you know, so that's kind of what I wanted to do. So that's what I went in and did
Oh, wow.
from the beginning. And then when we switched it around, put the shrimp. I had to make a decision between shrimp and hamburgers because I put a grill in there as well. And I noticed that the hamburgers were taking too long to get off the grill, and the shrimp was quick, so we went with shrimp.
But were you using
Interesting.
the fry kitchen? When did you turn that into the fry kitchen around that time, or did you have a fryer somewhere else in the?
No, I turned it into a fry kitchen at
Yeah.
the time.
So that was like a kitchen for an apartment at the time.
That was the
Yeah.
kitchen for the apartment that was next door that the
Yeah.
girl lived in. And so when she moved out, we took that dining room, made it our dining room, and we took her kitchen and made it our kitchen and just cut the doorways out and walls.
Oh, my
We've
God.
got we've
yeah.
got pictures of his buddies. I think they had been telling him to do that for a while, and there's pictures of them like busting doorways out where the you
Yeah.
go into
Oh
the
my
dining
gosh,
room
I
now,
love that.
and there's electrical hanging all down
To be
from
honest with you,
everything to code.
I went to
Of course, of course.
I went to the bank, and I was going for an hour. When I got back, they busted the doorway out.
Yeah.
hey,
So they started
Now-
without me.
It's
you
good to
did-
have great friends.
And he did
Yeah.
get a chance to do his hamburger po' boy. Y'all didn't look this up, but y'all remember Pete's?
Yeah.
So we rented the little spot in there, and we
From
did
Preston
hamburger
Guidry.
from Preston
He approached
Guidry,
me
and
and
we,
asked
Oh,
me to
come
do.
on.
yeah, and we did hamburgers in there.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
we did all the po' boys in
Yeah.
there, actually.
Oh wow, I did not. Yeah,
For
I
about-
didn't
for
find
about a
that
year or
anywhere.
two.
Oh, that's
Oh,
great.
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
And you had a hamburger po' boy
Yeah.
at that
Yeah,
point.
and we got a hamburger po' boy
Yeah,
now.
if you look up on the wall, I think it's behind the cash registers at Old Time. There's a sign,
There
and
is
that's
a
what
sign.
was in
It's-
Uncle Pete's.
I think
or-
it said
or-
Old Time
Oh,
Po' Boys, and they
wow.
hung it in Uncle Pete's.
It's a dark wooden sign with like black lettering on it, so you'll see it in there.
Now, Cheri, were you around during when he started this, or did y'all meet after?
I think I met him like 16 months into it.
Started May 28th. I think we met in June of the next year. So
Anyway.
like 13 months.
So what
So-
a surprise. It was eyes wide open.
Well, I lived down the street, and I was in college because he's way older than me, right? And I was like having, I was doing the college thing, and our neighbors worked at, you remember Jacobs? My neighbors and they were all
Yeah.
worked at Jacobs, and one of them worked for Glenn, and he said, man, Glenn needs some help in his snowball stand. He needs it for a week, and there's somebody there for a week. He said, one of y'all want to do it? I'm like, "Psh, I'll do it. I'll work in a snowball stand. And I went in the snowball stand, and they broke the mold when they met Glenn, because I thought I knew how to sweep and do everything else, and he would come behind me and, critique everything I did.
That was my way of flirting.
Oh,
You were picking on her.
okay. Well, it clearly worked out.
I spent the whole week in the snowball
Yeah,
stand.
he did.
Wow.
He did.
So from there, I know you have 5 kids,
Do.
and they've all been raised in the restaurant business at Old Time, huh?
They have.
Let's talk about that a little bit. What was that like juggling?
It's a lot to
well-
juggle. I've got 2 and they keep me running. I can't imagine 5 and a business.
But, I was very fortunate because I'll take it back. I was telling Ross that when they were little, Becca and Ross came right away. Becca and Ross, they're like 15 months apart. And
Oh, wow.
he didn't have anybody in the office at the time. And I did graduate from USL, but I went to I was in remedial math, okay? So I wasn't a good math student.
My mom was a math
My mom was a math teacher. And so Glenn's like, he's trying to do the books and make the sandwiches and order the mayonnaise and make sure we have paper bags and, we need insurance and everything else. And so I said, well, I could go in the office and work. And so I had a little playpen set up in there and started out with Becca. I tried the daycare thing. It wasn't daycare. I tried to have somebody watch them, and I was mortified. You couldn't find good help. And so I said, I'm going to bring
She
her in
worked
there.
in the store
It
before
is.
we
Oh, I
had
worked in
children,
the store.
too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she quit on me, actually.
How many times through the years have you quit?
A lot. A lot. And I've been out for a while. But anyway, so long story short, I go in there to manage the books, and it would be a little ways off, and I'd say, well, that's fine. Not for Glenn Murphy. I mean,
No.
I got
I
fired.
wanted it to the penny
I got
back
fired.
in them days.
So
No,
when
I
you
didn't fire you for that.
when you first started out, though, you were like 10 or 15 sandwiches a day.
Actually, it was more like 5.
Oh.
I saw somebody wrote 10 or 15.
Yeah.
It was not really. It was my friends, whoever knew that. Nobody
Yeah.
really knew I had sandwiches. So
So from 5 a day to how many a day now?
probably 800.
800.
Average.
Yeah.
Average.
800.
Wow.
That's not
Not
doing
every
that.
day, and
Just average it across
Yeah.
the
No,
board.
I imagine
yeah.
during
more on
Lent,
Fridays
it's,
and
I
Saturdays.
mean, just absolutely through the roof.
So
Yeah.
I asked Rogers
Yeah,
about
Fridays
it.
during Lent.
I mean, you
And
have
he
to
went
get
to
your own
UL.
shrimp boat.
Yeah.
We've thought about
We
it.
thought about it. We thought about buying a shrimp
We've
company.
talked about it.
Well, because between us and our son-in-law, who has a restaurant too, we use 200,000+ pounds of shrimp a year between both.
Wow.
We each use a little bit over 100,000 pounds. Or
Oh,
right
my
around
gosh.
100,000 pounds a year. So
Oh my goodness.
it's a lot of shrimp.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just
You're keeping some shrimpers in business for sure.
Yeah.
so let's talk about that
We
for a
thankful
second.
for the shrimpers. They
Because
work
what
hard.
I didn't know, learn something new every day, is Old Time is not the only place that y'all have. There's another sandwich shop that y'all are tied to. Tell us about that.
Go ahead, Ross.
You go ahead.
BJ's
I mean,
it's BJ's and Broussard, but you tell the story about how that came about.
Is that what you want to know? How it?
Oh, yeah, how'd that come
Absolutely.
about?
Well, and
Oh, my
timing
God.
wise, it was right about the third or fourth kid, right? So
We had three.
I can't
We had
remember.
three.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was 97.
97.
Yeah, 97.
Yeah, so basically, a good friend of mine, Joey LaRouge, matter of fact, they gave me a call a little while ago. We got another friend was flying in town because he's a pilot, and he wanted to know if I could meet him at Old Time at 11:30. And I said, no, I got something going on. But
Sorry.
one of my old college roommates. But Joey was picking him up from the airport, and Joey was a guy who lives in Lafayette, still does, and he was working in Broussard at the time, and he kept telling me it was a restaurant called Joe's back in the day, and he kept saying, I think she wants to get out. I think she wants to get out. You need to look at it because it's a nice old building. And I never did. And then one day, about a year or two later, I was driving by, and it was closed, and they had a sign for rent. So I called and I talked to the people on the phone and said, I see y'all renting your place. I'm interested in talking about it. And the lady said, well, I'm sorry, you're too late. We already rented it to another local restaurant that's, popular, that's going to be there. I said, that's fine. Here's my number. When they go out of business, give me a call. She said, what do you mean when they go out of business? I said, if they go out of business, give me a call.
the
8 months
restaurant
later,
business.
yeah, 8 months later, she called me, and I went in and started there. And I had a lady that was making sandwiches in there. Her name is Jenny, and she worked for the previous two owners for 7 years between the two owners, and she's still with me to this day.
Oh,
She's been with me
wow.
28 years, so she's been there 35 years.
Oh.
She's getting ready to retire, though.
She's
think.
talking about it, yeah.
I love that.
She became our cook, too. She's
You're
our cook.
doing something right when you have
Absolutely.
someone for 35 years.
Yeah, well, I only had her 28 years, or whatever, however long I've been there.
Since 1997. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
28 years, yeah.
That's incredible. It
Yeah,
really,
she's-
really
she's-
is.
She's like family.
Wow.
is. So how does the menu at that location compare to Old Time? Are you doing some of the same things?
Let him answer that.
Yeah, so we do all
He
the
does it
same,
now, so.
all the same po' boy menu.
Okay.
And then we have the plate lunches over there. So Jenny cooks your standard rice and gravies and gumbos
Ooh,
and
yum.
your home cooked meals. And we do 2 or 3 different plate lunches every day. Some of them more on the more basic side, and some we try and step it up a little bit, more gourmet.
What's your favorite?
Favorite plate lunch? I don't eat those too much anymore, but
He eats too healthy, him. Meal preps.
yeah, I should have Sandra's. They should keep Old Time. My favorite plate lunch from when I was younger, probably chicken fried steak. I know it's not fancy,
Oh.
but she did it
Okay.
good. Yeah, she's got a really good gumbo too.
Oh, yes.
But the chicken fried steak is on the menu what day?
It's kind of
Everything's
random,
random
whenever.
whenever.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm going to
Do
have
they
to watch
post
for
it?
that.
They post,
They
yeah.
post.
I'll have to watch for that because I love a good chicken fried steak. I'm
Well,
Texan. I'm
definitely
Texan.
make sure they're posting it in Foodies so we
Oh, yeah.
know.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you, so I was talking to Rogers about Old Time, and he lived there when he.
I think he did live in the building, didn't he?
Well, he was right around the corner at a frat house, but he pretty much lived in Old Time.
Yeah,
and
he
I
was
asked
always
him,
in early
how
on.
much was that sandwich when you first started?
Oh, gee. What did he say?
He said $3 something. I want
think
to
it was
say
$3.
I think
Wow.
it was, yeah. And I'm like, wow.
I don't remember if that was for a whole, but $3 rings a bell.
It
It might have
seems
been
like-
a half, and a whole was 5. Or,
I think it was 3 for a whole.
I think it was 3 for a
wasn't
whole.
Yeah.
I think it was for a while. I
It
think
was 3 for a whole.
$3,
And then
yeah.
on the 25th anniversary, we rolled back our prices 25 years for a week.
Oh,
You
my
remember that?
God.
To $5 for a whole.
$5.
And how many
for a whole-
sandwiches did you make that
Oh,
day?
God.
Oh, we made
It was
on Friday
oh my goodness.
3,500.
How much?
3,300.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
It was killer.
Oh,
And we
my
ran out
gosh.
of shrimp.
A couple
at
times. A
2
few
o'clock,
times,
ran
yeah.
back to Delcom, picked up some more shrimp, went and
You're
butterfly
getting your shrimp from
them all.
Delcom off the boats.
No, I
from
mean, I knew a
Delcom.
lady who had fresh shrimp down there.
But that's
you
when
know.
they were, they were butterflying them.
We
you know?
still butterfly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
what I meant was
They used to hand butterfly.
Hand
and They used to
butterfly.
take a knife,
hand
Uh-huh.
pop the head off the
Yeah.
shrimp.
Oh,
and
do
come
that.
on.
take
We got a
knife,
machine
yeah,
now.
we-
Wow.
yeah, it's
Hand
a
butterfly.
little speedier
Oh
now.
my gosh,
Oh,
that's
wow.
a ton of. Oh my goodness.
And
Yeah,
then,
if
so
you-
we got some shrimp. We opened back up at 5. They had about 30 people, 40 people.
Well,
out
we
the
never
door.
we never technically closed. We just kept going.
No, we ran out of
On the Friday?
Yeah, we ran out of shrimp at 2 or 2:30.
Oh, we
and-
might have a little bit, but
and we closed for 2 hours. And
Well, we had so much
opened back
work
up.
to just catch up. To,
Oh, yeah, no, y'all had work to do, but
we
the
were picking
doors
up
were
dead
closed.
people off the ground. The employees
Yeah.
were just so worn out.
I
you know?
could
Oh, I
not
bet.
imagine.
Well, it's
Oh,
got to
my
be that way
goodness.
during Lent, too, on Fridays.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
This
sure
this
you're
was
having uptick in-
Lent times 2. It was unreal.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it was busy.
$5 shrimp po' boy.
Well, okay, and I love that you said getting the shrimp out of Delco, but it's not just the shrimp that you're sourcing locally. The bread comes from Longlenays,
we
doesn't
source
it?
as many things locally as we can.
So
Love that.
how long, I guess, and why Longlenays? And because I personally am super picky when it comes to a po' boy, and I would argue that that's really one of the reasons why the po' boy is so good. It's
Don't
not
tell
just
Bobby
the
that.
balance, but
Don't tell Bobby Longley that. But yes, because he always wants to go by my prices. I'm just kidding, Bobby. But
it's so good though.
It is delicious.
it is. So what happened there is I was from New Orleans, so I wanted to get Leidenheimer's bread or Rising's.
Yeah.
Because that's what I grew up with. And I set up a deal with a friend of mine, a fraternity brother. He was from Baton Rouge, and he would go down and pick up. They were delivering to Rising was delivering to Baton Rouge, so he would go every morning and pick up bread in Baton Rouge from me and bring it to me. And it wasn't quite enough bread. I was using, we were doing it every other day, I believe, and I was using 10 loaves. So to establish and make it worth more our time, I got this guy Al who lived there, and he would pick it up and he would bring it. And we started a route with Albertsons, and so we started bringing some Rising's bread to some of the different stores. And that lasted about 6 months. And in the meantime, Bobby Longley came and visited me, and he said, why don't you try my bread? And I'm like, it's not New Orleans bread.
Right.
And he said, well, if you ever need, here's my card, this is where I'm at. So then one day, about 6 months later, I ran out of bread. And I said, man, where's that? Let me go see that guy. So I went and got him, and he had hot, fresh bread coming off the line. I put it out there, and you couldn't beat it. So I made a deal with him and started getting our bread from him, picking it up every day for the last 40 years.
I love that because and maybe it's because I'm a foodie. Maybe this doesn't come up in everyday conversation for normal people, but I feel like I've had the conversation many times in my life that you can't have a good po' boy without the bread, and that's the
Bread.
argument
Bread's
is
crucial.
of why New Orleans has the best po' boys is because they're bread, and you can't have that bread without that water, and it's a whole thing. And so, I absolutely understand that there's some differences.
Yes.
There's definitely a difference between po' boy bread and say a sub bread or a whatever.
A soft
else.
sub. But
Yeah.
Bobby and them have gotten it
Oh,
down
gosh,
to
it's
science.
so good.
They do a great job.
Oh, it's so good.
And having it hot and fresh, daily makes a big difference. And so and for some po' boys, like the shrimp po' boy, that bread is so much better. It's part of what makes
Oh,
our
yeah.
shrimp po' boy so much better. When you get the harder bread, which I like in New Orleans, it's harder, and it doesn't just the shrimp are not as quite
No,
as.
your bread
but the
is
roast
perfect.
beef on that harder bread, it soaks in, and
Right.
So it just depends on what you're eating.
So which one's your favorite?
My favorite sandwich, I would say oyster.
Oh, the fried
Okay.
oyster.
Fried oyster.
Oh, I love that
Or
one.
meatball.
Okay. How about you? What's your
She don't
favorite?
eat that much, but can I guess? Oyster. Same thing.
Yeah.
That's all you eat whenever you get it.
So Rogers works with Sandra on. I'm sorry,
Cheri.
Cheri on some things, and she'll always give him an option of like Sandra's or Old Time, and it's always Old Time. And she'll bring sandwiches for that meeting, and I normally get some of that. So thank you, but yeah. So Ross, you're second generation, and it looks like you have you're wanting to inherit all this, like the work, everything, and keep it going forward. It looks like that you're president of the group now, and what you're doing. So
I think Google made that up. I don't
Google
know.
made that up a little bit.
Yeah.
He's still the boss.
Yeah, no.
So we don't have to worry about giving up our po' boys anytime soon?
No, you don't have to worry
Okay,
about
good.
that.
That's
what I
really
wanted to
good.
hear.
So when did you start helping out in that restaurant?
Was it actually at birth or a little while later?
I'm not going to make an inappropriate joke there. So, I mean, I grew up in the restaurant. I was just telling my wife the other day, I remember vivid memories of Saturday mornings. We go into the store and get a 10K and get some French bread and go try and feed the ducks at Girard Park.
Oh,
But
yeah.
they don't eat
French
French bread. So,
Oh,
and then we go to Burger King and get French toast sticks or McDonald's. So those are good memories. So, grew up in it. Didn't start working in it until
High school.
16.
well, officially, like in the snowball stand in high school, but we were always helping out with whatever snowball events when we were younger and just being around the store. So,
Yeah.
The store was so busy that I didn't want them running around the store, but they helped with snowball, and it was just too busy. It was always busy.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very busy.
And would
dangerous,
you say you share your dad's passion?
I
For
do.
the business,
I
yeah.
think we think we're really different, but we're probably more alike than we
Oh,
care
that's-
to give credit for. Yeah.
That's
Funny how
Yeah.
that works.
Now,
That's
does he
true.
sleep behind you?
Not as much anymore.
Not as much
no,
anymore?
No.
So I used to.
Because he's too old and tired.
Well, I
I'm the
think
one
it's
sweeping behind everyone else.
There we go.
Grumbling and griping behind it.
So
Yeah.
the apple doesn't fall
Exactly,
from the tree.
exactly.
I got you.
Well, I think it's wonderful that it goes on, the second generation, and who knows, there may be a third. And so I think that's just wonderful. And I want to mention our Chef's Table sponsor, Logic Refrigeration HVAC. Seth is such a great guy, and he services restaurant equipment, HVAC, refrigeration, and other equipment in restaurants. He's killing it. So if you're a restaurant owner and you would like to see if Seth could make a difference for you and your bottom line, then reach out to Logic Refrigeration HVAC. He's also a huge player in our community fridge project and has donated 2 double commercial refrigerators to that project and also keeps them running to tip-top shape. So great guy, great
Thank you,
company.
Seth.
If you have a need for HVAC and refrigeration, contact Logic. So we're back with Old Time and much more. And this time we've got Becca with us. So Ross and Becca are second generation, which is amazing to me to see. So, but before I move on to Sandra's, when you really started Old Time, did you really want to make po' boys?
Yeah, when I started Old Time, I did, but they had a time when I was young that I was 14 because it was before I could drive. It was, and we got our license at 15 back then, and I remember it distinctly because I went to a job. It was 1 block from my house for a po' boy shop. I think it was called Nye's Po' Boys, like a bar and po' boys together. And I applied for the job. Lady hired me at 14, and I went one day, and I was cutting an onion, and she said, "You don't know how to." No, I'm sorry. I worked for one day, and it was everything went okay in my eyes. And then I went back for the second day, but all my friends were going to the Mardi Gras parade, and I had to go to work, so I was already frustrated. And then as I'm peeling an onion, she says, "You don't know how to peel an onion?" She gets mad at me. I stuck the knife in a butcher block table, and I said, "I'm out of here," and I walked out. And I really honestly remember thinking to myself, I'm not sure what I'm going to do in life at 14 years old, but I know it's not going to be this. And I actually ended up doing exactly what. So the good Lord's got a funny way of.
You know how to peel an onion now?
Full circle.
Yeah, I do. I actually
right.
peel onions quite often.
Very
So
cool.
what's the secret?
Oh, I don't know if that's a secret. I
Stop
still
crying.
take big gouges
Yeah,
out of
right.
it, you know.
So, tell us a little bit about Sandra's and how much of an accident that was in the beginning.
Well, I was riding around with one of my managers, a guy named John Pastor, who was a big restaurant family in town for years. And he was one of our managers. And me and him were riding around looking, going to get to Metter's Kitchen Equipment to get some equipment and small wares. And as we're riding around, I'm dreaming. And, I said, let's go see over this. Let's go see. And I keep pointing out where I might open a restaurant or do this. And then after about an hour, he said, let's go get our equipment at Metter's. So we get to Metter's, and I see a guy in there named Scott Locke, and I'm like, "Hey, Mr. Locke, how you been? Good to see you. What you doing now?" And Scott says, "I'm closing down Sandra's." I said, "What is Sandra's?" He said, "You don't know what Sandra's is? It's right in the middle of town." And I said, "No, I don't." I said, "What are you doing?" He said, I'm trying to see if Metter's wants to buy my kitchen equipment." So I said, "Man, I might buy it. Let me go see it." So he said, "Follow me." So I went and followed him to Sandra's, and within 14 days, I was in the health food industry. Oops. Yeah.
And so what type of things did it sell at that point?
He was out of stock, to be honest with you.
Oh,
He had
you had
about
to stock it.
$2,000 worth of stock. They had one lady working there, and Sandra had passed a few years before. And they had one lady named Dean working there, and I said, "Would you stay and work with me and teach me the business?" And she said, "Yeah, I'll do it if you pay me enough." I said, "How much is enough?" She said, $8 an hour. I said, "Okay, done."
Oh, wow.
So, and so I did that and, learned the business from her somewhat and hired different managers, and I had some good managers come in that learned a lot. I learned a lot from them, and that's kind of how I got in it.
Was that mid-90s?
Oh,
2007.
Yeah, 2007.
It was
Oh.
It was real granola whenever he bought it. There was nothing in there, and they were serving seaweed wraps in the cafe.
They weren't serving anything. They closed the cafe down. Then the most meals they ever served out of the cafe, from what I understand, was 5 meals a day.
So does some of Sandra's menus still exist there?
No, probably not.
Not really.
Probably not.
I got in it for the food. When I saw a kitchen, it drew me to it because I'm a restaurant guy.
So they used to do the tuna and the chicken salad.
Chicken salad
I'm sure we've
sandwich.
changed things a little bit.
Oh,
But
we
some
might-
of
we
that,
might-
and the
we
chicken
might still have
kinda
teriyaki
like
was
the
like right
soul
in
of
the
Yeah,
it
but I
still
started
there.
that when
Oh,
I was
yeah,
in. But
okay.
the chicken salad sandwiches and tuna salad sandwiches and chicken salad in the containers, yes, that was there.
We've
When
improved it over
Yeah,
the years,
right.
but it was there.
Right.
And now
That-
it's
few
a
things were still there.
beautiful grocery store and cafe, and you've got plate lunches and barbecue sometimes.
on Fridays.
breakfast.
And breakfast.
We see them
And
post on
breakfast. Oh
Foodies.
gosh,
yeah.
the breakfast is so good
Yeah,
too.
yeah, we're doing well, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I know it seems to have somewhat of a following, meaning regulars.
It's all regulars.
Yeah.
It's
I
people
see
that
a
can't
lot
get
of
that
people-
kind of food anywhere else.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of places to get clean food. There's no hormones, no antibiotics, and
All organic vegetables.
it's all organic vegetables. And it's, and it's, people say, well, how do you do, what makes it healthy? That's what makes it healthy.
Right.
Sometimes it's cheesy lasagnas, so it's not exactly low calorie, and sometimes not low carb, but
But it's clean.
it's clean food, right?
Yeah.
But it's also inexpensive. You're pulling
Yeah,
off
yeah,
organic
yeah.
inexpensively.
It really is.
For the same price or less than what some other people are selling regular plate lunches
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Now you were asked this
But I
earlier.
need to go up.
Now,
Cut.
you need to go. I'm assuming everybody tells you need to raise your prices.
We hear that all the time.
Oh, I'm sure.
So Ross, what's your favorite thing at Sandra's?
It's all good over there. What's my single favorite plate lunch over there? I like rotisserie chicken. I'm pretty simple.
Okay.
But rotisserie chicken with some veggies. Anything, really anything.
Anything is
yeah,
good.
yeah.
What about you, Becca?
My favorite thing is Crystal, the cook.
Yeah. Anything
She
they cook.
literally, I have a 2-year-old, and she makes our breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day.
Oh, really?
Not specifically for me, but you
Yeah.
know, it works. So
Oh, yeah.
I do eat there a lot, even though it's our own place. I think it's clean and it's good and it's healthy and easy, and
So Crystal.
Crystal.
And Crystal came in.
2007.
Crystal
been there
was
for the whole time too.
yes about
She
3
started at
months.
BJ's.
Yeah, 3 months after I opened, I found she was working at BJ's, at our other restaurant, Broussard, and she was a key holder and kind of like an assistant manager, and she was moving on this side of town. I said, "Can you cook?" She said, "I cook at home." I said, "Do you want to cook?" She said, "Yeah, I'll cook." And she started cooking there. She's been cooking there for 18 years.
Wow.
And then we had Sam, who was he was the first one to own Sahara's restaurant, which was the first Mediterranean restaurant in town. He sold to Zeus on Pinhook, and he stayed with us 15 years. So we had those two
wow.
there for 15,
That is a
16
testament
years.
of how
It really
the
is.
culture is at
It
your
really
restaurants. It's just a testament when you have long-term employees like that, you're doing something right. You're
I wish
treating
they
them
would
right.
all be long term because we go through a bunch.
Well, I'm sure
we've
you
had
have
we've
seasonal-
had 5,000 or 6,000 employees
Yeah,
over the years.
Oh,
the
wow.
younger ones we churn through, but that's kind of the
Yeah.
nature
Well, you
of
They
it.
know,
send
it's
their
right
kid-
there.
well,
It
they
gives
send their
it
kids
gives the
now.
students the job.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people that work for him. Their kids work with us
You
now.
know what though? That honestly, that to me says just as much as someone that's been there for 10 or 20 years. Because my gosh, if I'm gonna send my child to you, it's because I trust you implicitly, or they're not coming. So that really does say a lot about your business model and about how you run.
They want us to be
things.
like boot camp to their kids to teach them.
I can see that too.
We challenge them. We can be tough to work for in the best ways, right?
Well,
So,
no, absolutely, and that's what makes
They're
it
always
such a
upbeat when I
sustainable
go
business.
in. I love that. They're always upbeat. They're always very helpful. Like get Tico Suave water and his boat of lettuce. And I mean, yeah, it's just always great. And then, when you see that, I equate that to something's right.
Absolutely.
You're doing something right when you see it like that.
Well, speaking of doing something right, what would you say, and what would you say, being second generation, what did you learn from your mom and dad that you feel like is going to give you the ability to carry on their legacy as second generation with these businesses?
I think they instilled a strong faith in us. So they first they give glory to God in everything they do. So I think that first comes across for us. And then they worked very hard. You know, my mom behind the scenes, even though you don't see her a lot. My dad, he says that he worked all the time, but he was always there for the important things in our lives. Like, he never missed
anything
any
important.
play or any dance recital. He might have picked me up late sometimes, but they were always there, both of them. So I think that, it was just, we were always together. We don't always get along, but like,
Oh, a typical
Really?
family. Wow.
yeah, we know how to smile and look good for the cameras, but they were always, they were good parents, and they taught
You
us
see, I'm
well.
sitting
and-
between these two. Huh?
Yeah, keep them apart, keep 'em apart.
Smart dad.
I don't know, Ross, you could maybe agree or disagree.
Yeah, I
but-
mean, just along with what she said, for sure. And she and I, we got to see like the beginning grind, not the early days, but just the
What it
blood,
takes.
sweat, and
I'm
tears.
sure your
Yeah.
work
And-
ethic is
and,
good.
and
We've
too
done-
good sometimes.
yeah.
We were
Yeah.
complaining to each other a couple weeks ago, like we should take more time off and play golf more or whatever.
We had to
but-
do it all. They didn't give us jobs at the top.
We were- we-
I have dumped trash. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, and we were fortunate, like the businesses were successful, and we weren't expected, or we didn't have to work at 12, 13, 14. They didn't make us. They invited us to, by all means, like, hey, be a part if you want to work in the snowball stand or work in the office. But yeah, we just saw the grind, and so we're blessed to have been able to see
love
that,
that. I
and
love
it's
that.
translated into work ethic for us as adults.
Sure.
Competency in business, just the osmosis of like picking up on vendor relations and customer relations and how a business works. And we still mess things up all the time, but
Speak for
there's
yourself.
there's a super blessing
I do.
in growing up in a small business. There's days where I wish it would have been bigger when we came into it, and we can just say, let's open a new place there or there. But
Yeah.
It sounds like your dad's still trying to do that.
He is.
he is.
We
yeah.
got different ideas.
Yeah. He's like a squirrel. There's a nut everywhere.
Okay, so finally, before we go, I want to you tell me a little bit about your marriage and the royalty from New Orleans. The rivalry,
He's over
I
there
should
with my
say.
baby. So in 2016, USA Today did Best Po' Boy in the state competition. It was like a social media driven thing. I think there's one going on right now for Lafayette. USA Today's doing one. But anyways, not about Po' Boys. And so we were in it against each other. And like I said, I think it was social media. So the more votes you got, the more you got. Well, we were in first place one day. He'd be in first place one day. We kind of went back and forth. He tells the story a little better. But anyways, I did not like him because they'd come on and they'd do like videos, and we'd do a video. I'm like, who is this jerk that's doing these videos? Like, we do one, he's competitive. He's so competitive. I won't even tell how he won. But so we did the USA Today competition, and they ended up winning. The last day they didn't show who was in first place. We were in first place day 4. Anyways, he came out first. We came out second. So they came down to Lafayette, to meet us. And so I met him in 2016. Thought he was nice, whatever.
Yeah.
But we reconnected in 2020, and here we are married a few years
During
later.
The
with a
rest
baby.
is
yeah.
history.
So
And
anyways,
beautiful
so he
little
has
girl.
Parkway Bakery. I'm sorry, I didn't even say he has Parkway Bakery in New Orleans. So he has a po' boy shop in New Orleans, and we met in the competition against each other. I married my father. They're like the same. I
love
My
that.
dad.
I talk to him every day.
They're best friends. They talk he'll call me and he's like, oh, I already talked to Justin today, and he said he's doing this and this and this and this. I'm like, all right. So anyways, yep, he has Po' Shop New Orleans, and it's very similar to Old Time. Same feel. Got the corner door, and
Oh, wow.
we
No, it's an iconic
But
po' shop. in
you
New
live
Orleans.
here.
Yeah.
I split my time. So when I met him, I was running Old Time Sandra's VJs. So I was, I had all the stores, and he was running his. So we just kind of went back and forth. And then I had a baby, and I decided to stay home with her. And so we're still here. I like Lafayette.
I do too.
It is a great
I love
place
New
to
Orleans
be.
too, but I love Lafayette.
So I don't know. We'll figure it out. We don't know what we're doing.
Oh,
We're
And
happy.
she is just beautiful,
Thank
by
you.
the way.
Thank you.
Josephine.
Josephine, yes.
And
Awesome.
she's 2.
She's 2.5.
Oh,
yes.
she's
so
so
She
precious.
is beautiful.
thank you.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today and telling your part of your story, at least. I know there's probably much more that we didn't cover, But you truly are just legendary in Lafayette, and we're so thankful to have you. And Old Tyme Grocery, Sandra's, thank you all for being here and on the podcast today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
Thanks
us.
for keeping it
Thanks
such
for-
a tasty place to live.
Thank you for
Thank you.
spreading positive moods and vibes about
That's what we
about
do.
food,
We're doing
you know?
what we can.
We were
We're
created
doing
to support local restaurants and businesses for sure.
Yeah, it's
That's
great.
it.
Yeah.
Thank
Foodies in
y'all.
Lafayette, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank y'all for being here. We couldn't do any of this without our amazing partners. Thank you, Sundays, for having us. It's fantastic. Thank you, Chris Logan, for keeping us on track. Cajun Table, we love in seasoning. It's wonderful. Thank you so much, Colin, with Ounce of Hope. And Seth, you're amazing. Logic HVAC, we love all that you do. Thank
you,
you so
guys.
much. Let's
Let's
eat.
eat.
Make sure to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. And thanks again to our Chef's Table sponsor, Logic Refrigeration and HVAC. You can learn more at getlogicservice.com. If you have a restaurant, commercial business, Seth can take care of you. Give him a call, 337-242-1000. Until next time, let's eat.